Beep, 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 beep. Good morning. All that's new and improved from the Chester News Arse of Gravy. Welcome. It looks like the beep to beeps stay in. A tremendous response to yesterday's video from all of you saying don't take away the beep to beeps. To such an extent that the individual that said it might be a good idea called me a culpa and removed the request. So it looks like they're staying, folks. Beep, 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 which is all good as far as I'm concerned. So I've got a number of things for you today. Two things that make a point about equity that I mentioned yesterday. So I'll talk about them towards the end. But first off, let's start with Jamie Wallis. I think it's Jamie Wallis. Is it some trans conservative, right? This guy. Strange fellow. Very odd, some stuff going on there. It comes out, everybody praises him, because they all do that, don't they? Like, I'm trans. You know, break out the champagne, Roger. I'm trans. So they've all done that. They've all given him the old well done, including Liz Truss, funnily enough. And now he's causing trouble again. But for those of you that don't know, he hit a cow or something. He was driving a lamppost or a small child. He hit something, right? Jumped out of the car and ran off, right? Because he was dressed in a miniskirt and fishnets and, you know, like Divine. Right, okay. Not a small fellow either, are Jamie? Right, bit of a big lad. Divine. You think you're a man, but you're only a boy. And now he's in trouble for various other things. He apparently ran a sugar daddy website, which is where he hooks people up with people that, you know, look after him financially for the odd blowjob or a quick shag. Right, that's the sort of thing he was doing. Denied that he was doing it, got caught out denying it. How is this guy still in a job, right? Now he's pissed off because he's saying that Truss is using trans rights and, oh, it's all upsetting and blah, 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 blah. So what's up with this bloke? Just, you know, shut up. You washed enough of your dirty laundry in public. In a right-thinking world, somebody, who wouldn't be me, obviously, that would say it, but somebody would say he's just a cross-dresser who likes tossing off in knickers. I wouldn't say it, but in a right-thinking world, somebody might. Would you? What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Okay, that was the first thing, right? Second thing, Starmer. Fucking Keir Harmer, I'm going to start calling him. And went to the Pink News Awards last night, which I'm sure was an absolute ball, where he played, you know, Arsey Bumlick with the various denizens at the upper echelons of the LGBTQPMAPRXYZ, hands, knees, and bumps and daisy people, right? Okay. And then said, you know, the usual. I will change the GRS. We will bring in hate crime. So it's going to be a hate crime now, not to lie, under Labour. So here it comes, my GC fabulous lefties. My regular reminder to you, which I know you hate because I always get, I'm not doing that in the comments. Come the election, vote Tory. There you are. See? I know it's against your lifelong XYZs. Doesn't matter. Vote Tory. Right, okay? That's my advice, okay? So somebody said to me, well, you can do SDP. They're not fielding enough candidates to make it a viable alternative. And then I got to thinking about, you know, how desperately depressing it is that this might happen, that Labour might get in and, you know, we suddenly get self-ID and it all goes a bit wrong. And I thought, well, do you know, maybe it's what we need. Maybe it has to get worse before it can get better. Maybe we have to have people understand the dangers of this to children and get that fully realised. Cash report out, you know, proper investigations, police investigations into mermaids, and then possibly investigations into Stonewall, and the others as well, LGBT Foundation, Manchester Pride, all of these erstwhile august gay institutions that have now been taken over by the LGBTQ hands, knees, and bumps and daisy people. So that was the next thing. It was, you know, about damn Labour, right? Okay. Then we get to something a bit more serious. Reports coming in, great thread by Nutmeg, which I'll put in the things, but it's quite shocking, about a woman who has had her operation cancelled due to the fact that she asked for a female team, and they cancelled her operation. Right, now people are online arguing about this. There's no argument to be had. This is not two sides of an argument. You ask for female care, you get it, especially when the individual who is going in to have the operation is expected post the operation to need intimate care. Intimate care. You ask for a female. Now, I wouldn't care, right? I wouldn't give a monkeys, but that's me. Okay? So from her perspective, obviously it was important that she had female care. So there's various arguments going on. It's unfair to ask the hospital to rewrite their policies and completely remake their team. No, it's not. Right? Okay, it's not unfair at all. It's what's called making reasonable adjustments. And it's so easy that you could do it by phone. Hello, is that the local nursing agency? Yep, can I have 2 nurses, please? Hello, is that the next hospital down the road? I'm looking for a female who can do X. Can you possibly help? It'll be a day's work. So I'm calling bullshit on all of it. Right? It's not complicated. Not complicated at all. It can be done. They're just choosing not to do it. And the reason they chose not to do it was given. And the reason that they chose was it goes against our values. Wow. Right? I told you there was 2 things today about equity. This is the first one, right? It goes against our values. It goes against our values. Their value is equity. Trans rights are human rights. Men can be women. It's the unreality of gender ideology. That's what's causing this. Okay? And that they'll protect it all they can because it's part of their hard left idea of how the world should be. They'll protect it all they can. This time what it meant was a woman didn't get an operation. What's it going to mean next time? Think about that. Now, if the Conservators had managed to get themselves together, this wouldn't be happening. So what have we got? You know, Liz trussed up and ready to go. Suella, not so brave a man. And Jeremy Hunt. Jeremy Hunt, almost, but not quite. Jeremy Hunt, who's is currently running the country. And by all accounts, Penny Mordaunt's holding off in the wings like some vampiric siren who's going to swoop down and suck the blood out of the nation by bringing in self-ID, which we know she supports. We know she supports it, right? That's where we are. It's insane. But whatever happens now, however we move forward, the work must intensify. We must keep going. Okay, that's the most important thing. We must do things. We must do things. Write. Protest. Pick up the phone. Say something. Speak up. Become part of the solution. Loads of people already are. We've got some fantastic work, but things are still to be done. Still a lot to do. We've still got a long way to go, folks. Don't panic. Don't worry. You know, we're getting better. There's people collaborating and doing stuff all over the place, and that's the way forward, and we'll be able to do it. So I'm very pleased in that case to be able to announce breaking news, just a news, beep, 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 breaking news. We have a new voice in the game. So I put the links to everything in the doobras, right, so you can see it, okay? The new voice in the game is a woman from California, and she's produced a video for YouTube, and she's blowing the whistle on a counselling master's at a university that is practising pure equity. Pure equity. Let's level everything out, right? So what they do is instead of teaching them to be counsellors where somebody comes in and they say, tell me about your childhood. I'm kidding, they don't, but where they sit back and don't speak, actually their ego doesn't exist. Real high level listening, trying to understand where the person is. No, now they've got to find out where they are on the intersectional ladder. So if you're a black, disabled, lesbian, trans person, you're number one. That's your problems. That's what all your life's problems because you're at the top, aren't you? You're at the top. So that's what they're doing. So they've got to look for the intersectionality, put them there, and then they use that. They talk to the individual about that so that they can see that it is that, for example, their whiteness that has caused the problem. That's what they're teaching. 2 counsellors in California. Insane. Absolutely insane. But it backs up what I said yesterday. They're teaching idiocy. Idiocy. Now, this brave woman has come forward to say, please listen to what I've got to say. And I think she deserves all the subscribings. So I'm going to put the details in. Please do subscribe. Please listen. It's only about 10 or 12 minutes long, I think, and certainly worth a listen. She makes some very, very good points, and it's deeply disturbing to see how blatantly out in the open they're now doing this in California. But California has gone, apeshit crazy. It's where this all comes from. If you go to California, my friend's just recently been, you can various people run around naked, people walking around with the tackle hanging out, right, and shit in the street. You get arrested for misgendering somebody, but you can shit in the street with impunity. That's okay. Calling he or she is not. World's gone mad. But they're stoned. They're constant. Everybody's stoned. Why do you think Facebook and all this LinkedIn, all that crap, all these mad social media companies are so absolutely insane? It's because they're tripping their tits off on cannabis. How do you design a decent complaint system on Twitter when you're tripping your tits off on cannabis? Just ask a lot of things about identity, man. And that's what they've done. So these people are tripping their tits off. and cannabis. So there we go. That's today done, all right, because I've got things to do and these bloody builders are driving me up the wall. So there you go. Jamie Wallis, God help us, right? Starmer, you know, kissing and arse, right? Just please don't. Be angry about the woman, right? The only response to that happening is outrage, all right? The Conservaturd's on the way out. It's all going wrong. Benny, you know, morbid, was going to take over. And finally, a great voice and a very brave Californian hailing to us from California the absolute depravity of this university in teaching these moribund, disgusting, anti-human, life-destroying theories. Okay, so that's it. Just a light one. I'm making pies today because I've got a mate coming for the weekend, and pies are better if they're made a few days earlier, frozen, and left to, you know, get all the flavour going and all that type of stuff. So I'm going to make some pies today because I'm having a day off. I tried to do it yesterday, didn't happen. So listen, buy me a drink, buy me a coffee, what is all the links are in the thing. Become a Patreon, but most of all, become a warrior teacher, right? You want to be part of the solution? I've got part of the solution. Come and be a warrior teacher. What we're doing is working. I'm getting those reports back from the team now. It's working, okay? So what we're doing is actually learning to do, speak, to teach, to talk to others in such a way that means you can articulate your frustrations and fears about what is going on. Become a warrior teacher. Come and become part of the team. The bigger it grows, the more of us there are. And in my next video, I'm going to talk about why that matters. We're going to look at statistics. It'll be fascinating. So do tune in to Jester's next foray. Until then, beep, 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 beep. Jester out.